So, Greta is now in theaters and it stars Chloe Grace Moretz as a young woman who is living with her roommate, played by Maika Monroe. And she goes on the subway one day. She sees a purse, and luckily in the purse there's an ID. So she takes this purse back to that person whose ID was in the purse. And she strikes up a friendship with this older lady, played by Isabella Huppert. And she slowly starts realizing that Isabella Huppert's character might not be all that she seems. For those of you who don't know, this is a film that's directed by Neil Jordan, the same guy who brought us The Crying Game. Very good film. I think it's still on Netflix. Check it out. That being said, I was excited for this film. I liked the cast, and I liked the director, and the premise seemed interesting. It's an okay film. Let me start off with the positives. So the cast is game. They're all really good, especially Isabella Huppert. She's great. It's very interesting to see her in a film like Ella and then a film like Greta. It's just two very different performances. She's great. Easily the standout of the film. I liked the way this film was shot. It was very well shot. I also liked the art direction that this film had, aka production design. This film also was a quick, easy breezy 98 minutes. It never felt like it was slow. It had my attention at all times. It was creepy. I'll give it that. It was very creepy, and that's in large part due to the way it's filmed and obviously as well Hubert's performance. Everything else, I'm not gonna lie, everything else was meh. There wasn't anything I hated other than the cliches of this film, but I can't even get into the cliches of the film because that would divulge into spoilers. And as you guys know, I don't do spoilers in my reviews. And if I do, it's usually at the end. But I don't think this film's worth diving into spoilers. I really don't, because this is the type of film that 6 months from now, or maybe even a couple months from now, people won't be talking about it. In fact, this film is only going to be remembered for the fact that there's another film called Ma coming out with Octavia Spencer. So people are only going to remember Greta because it came out the same year as Ma. Both films have to do with stalkers. Both films seem very similar. I don't know which is going to be better because Ma hasn't came out yet. I am very excited for Ma, though, even though Greta was pretty basic. My whole point with that, though, is that this isn't a film that requires getting spoilers. All it gets requirement for is it's cliched. There are a lot of things that characters do at the end where it's like, really? You're doing that? Like, oh my goodness. It's just so lazy, I think, at least, because like just certain character things that they do, it's like it just doesn't make sense, or it's just so outlandish that's like, oh my goodness. And it reminded me a lot of The Call, you know, that throwaway film with Halle Berry, and I think it was 2013. This film reminded me a lot of that, where the first two acts are strong enough to where it's like this is entertaining, and the final act that just goes into all-out schlock. And it's a shame, really. It's a shame. It's, again, Greta's not a film I hate, but it's also not a film I can say is a solid film. It's a film that it's okay. You know, it's the type of film that you can have on the background, and every now and then when Isabella Huppert's on screen, you're like, wow, she's a really good actress. Then you continue watching, and you're like, it's a shame the film wasn't as good as her performance. That being said, Greta, it's watchable. It's not offensive in any way. It's just a film that it is what it is. So Greta, for me personally, I'll be giving a 3 out of 5 star rating. For there's like a hot sauce rating, gets the good old, I almost said Texas Pete. Nope, Red Hot Franks. So that's an okay film. Now I will say this, and if you've seen the film, you'll probably agree with me. I found it surprising it was rated R. There's one scene where it was like, oh, it was violent, but at the same time, I couldn't help but think, wow, True Grit came out in 2010, and there was a scene similar to that scene, and that got a PG-13 rating. So it was just interesting, you know, because there's like no language in this film, R-rated language to say. There's no nudity or sex. There's just one scene of violence, and it's like it got an R rating. So I don't know. I just found it interesting that this film got an R rating, but that's just my opinion, of course. Guys, enough about that, though. Greta, what'd you think of it if you saw it? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you haven't seen it and you have any questions about the film or those cliches and tropes that are in the final act, let me know your questions about those in the comment section down below. And as always, don't forget the subscription, notification bell, and I'll get you guys later.